Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the channel. Appreciate you for stopping by. Today we're going to talk a little bit about relationships. In particular, a question that I seen on a forum that I'm a part of, where people are asked questions sometimes about their lives and we're able to give feedback. But on this one, I wanted to actually put my perspective on it with this video. I don't have the question in front of me, so I'm going to paraphrase it. There was a lady asking, what should she do? Her husband is cheating on her. She has evidence that she can put her hands on. Her kids are in college, or their kids are in college. She has nowhere to go and no one to tell. And she also added that her husband was well respected, like in the community. So you have a woman here whose husband is a pastor, well respected. They have kids in college. She has evidence that she can put her hands on of his affair, but she has nowhere to go and no one to tell. And this is just my perspective of what she should do. We can talk about it in the comments for those who are familiar with my channel. Maybe some of you have been through it. This is what I would say. And when I look at the way that the question was written, my heart goes out. I don't know the particulars, but I can see that she feels trapped. When you say, my husband is cheating on me, and he's a pastor, and he's well respected, to me, you are already, quote unquote, standing up to take his side, if that makes sense. Most women who find out that their husbands are having an affair, or is having an affair, don't care that he's respected. Don't care that he's a pastor. Don't care that he's an astronaut. If she can put her hand on some evidence, heads are going to roll. Most women. I would say more than not. There are some who won't. They'll just keep it. But they're also not going to come to a public forum and ask, what should I do? They'll just keep it and then remain in the situation. So the fact that he's a pastor, and me, when I'm giving my perspective, I have a rich history in the Christian church, grew up in the Christian church, been around it over 40 years. So I understand the principles that come with Christianity, depending on how deep you go with it, with the Bible and what it says, and also with the expectation that is on leadership. As we can see, even from people like Jakes and what he's going through, when you assume a certain role in religious leadership, even though you are a human being and subject to the flesh, subject to desires, subject to lust, subject to cussing somebody out, subject to stealing money, all of the things that quote unquote regular people deal with every day. And preachers, man or woman, they're still regular people. It's just that through their position, a lot of times they're lifted up to a higher expectation. The fact that he is a preacher and well respected And if they have kids in college, it tells me they've been together at least 18 to 20 years plus. So this lady's whole life is tied to, connected with, and I'm saying it this way because I understand that the average woman who's even listening to this story right now is screaming out of her spirit, girl, forget him. Just y'all not using the word forget, but y'all got other words that start with an F that y'all probably using. I'm keeping it G, as in general. Girl, forget him. Get yours, girl. Get out of there. Take him to the cleaners. Some of y'all that's mad at the church is screaming, get some of that tithe money out of them. Yeah, I hear you. Some of y'all that's been mad at the church. Some of y'all women that's been hurt by the church is screaming at this video to this lady, girl, get you some of that tithe money. I'm with you. I just want to paint a picture of what I feel her state of mind is. They've been together at least, using math of a child in college and more than one, at least 20 years. He's probably been, if not a pastor, in some type of spiritual leadership the entire time. Her name, his name, her name, the church's name, the reputation, all goes together, right? If you are a pastor and your name is Smith, but you pastor Lively Stone Baptist Church, then that name and your name go hand in hand. What people think of the church is what they think about you. What people think about you is what they think about the church. It's just the way it works. It's just the way it is. So she is aware that my husband, who is the pastor, is well respected. She's throwing that out there to suggest possibly, hold on, a fire truck is coming. Hold on one second. Appreciate it. She's throwing that out there to possibly be able to say, do I really want to tear down all that's been built up? She's already stated she don't have anybody to talk to about this situation. So she was bringing it to a forum to just get insight and advice, because obviously her mind is all over the place. Do I really want to tear down what we've built up? We've got kids in college. We've been together 20 years. He's a pastor. That makes me the first lady. If it's a black church, we big on titles. So black church, she's the first lady. I don't know how the Caucasian churches do it. I guess they're just the pastor's wife. But if it's a black church, she probably is black. We're going to use the title. So she first lady so-and-so. First lady Jane Doe. She got her own parking spot up in the front. She got her dress on, her hat on. She looking good. Don't matter if she 60, 50, 60. You got 20-year-old kid. You had kids saying you're 20. You, what, 50 years old? Mid-40s? Yeah, you looking good. Every Sunday, somebody's opening up your car door when you get there. Your husband was there before. He got to get there early, get in the office and read and study and talk to the deacons and go over the protocol. You come later in your Lexus, and then there's a deacon, or the first lady got her own lady that come out, make sure she good. You got a lot of perks here. A lot of benefits. Y'all go out to eat locally. Man, you go in a restaurant. Pastor so-and-so and his wife. Pastor, this time you only had to pay. You just a blessing to the community. Pastor, keep doing what you do. Let God use you. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. You get the free meal. Everywhere you go, people know who you are. And he's respected. So it's not just he's a pastor. He is a respected pastor. People look up to him and speak of him well. And now I can put my hands on evidence that he has been Y'all remember the wishbone back in the day, man? I remember Thanksgiving time came. Well, one of them holidays, you take the wishbone and, crack. He done had somebody lays out there like a wishbone. He respected. He a pastor. I got kids in college. I ain't got nobody else to talk to. What should I do? I feel like I know what you want to do. And I'm saying it this way if I was talking to this lady directly. I feel like she doesn't want to leave because she has nowhere to go. So again, right there, she's actually telling what she knows. In other words, if I say something and I'm put out or I have to get out, I have nowhere to go. I ain't got no family. My kids in college. I'll be out on my own solo. If I say anything. Hold on one second. So what she's saying is, if I blow his spot up, it's going to put me at a disadvantage. Y'all help me. What should I do? That's a rough place to be in. That's a rough, because here's the deal. Here's what I'm thinking again, coming from, I have a rich history of the church. Now that I know what I know and I have evidence that I can put my hands on to prove it. I have physical evidence that I can actually touch to prove that my husband is having an affair on me. I've got receipts, as they call it. I've got either text messages, videos, audio recordings, pictures. Something has been made available for me. He's not going to be able to get out of this. But if I use it, it's going to put me in a bad situation. What should I do? Now I have to sit through every sermon that he preached. Keep my composure together. Because, in the black church, the first lady, she's supporting her husband. So he's talking, Rahab. And she, yes, sir. She waving the fan. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Being all flirty. Preach it, Tony. Preach it. Being all flirty. And now he played Isley Brothers for somebody else. It's hard to keep your composure like that in church now. Oh, when he the pastor, it's hard to keep your composure. What should I do? Well, I think I know what you want to do. I think you want to stay. And if you have no other options, then you probably have to stay. Most people are going to tell you, girl, get out. And I would say, if you are able to, this is what I would say, if you are able to put your plan together, because if you've got evidence that you can touch, then the law will be on your side. So there will be things and benefits that will come to you from the divorce that you actually have a legitimate reason now. This ain't just we can't stand each other no more. This is what you are dealing with your husband. So that's legit, even in the eyes of the church and Christ. You legit. But it also means that you will have to live alone. So there's the two things that I present to you. Do you push forward with what most of us would say, which is, girl, protect your sanity, your peace, your mental health, which is a serious thing. Girl, protect your mind as you should. Girl, don't forget him. Put him on blast. And you will end up in an apartment by yourself. Or you keep your composure, you fake it, and you continue doing what you have been doing. That's just my perspective of it. Y'all can get in the comments and tell me what y'all think. I see both sides. I do not believe this woman wants to be alone. Having 2 kids in college and no one else to tell, she don't have a best friend. She don't have nobody she can go to. The last thing she gonna want to do is be in a condo by herself while her husband is still wishboning Sally Mae. But the last thing you want to do as well is be sitting on the platform while your husband preaching, knowing he wishboning Sally Mae. So which one means the most? Y'all get in the comments. She didn't ask me. Like I said, it was put on a public forum. I'm just giving my perspective of it and giving us something to talk about in the comment section. Y'all let me know what y'all think, fellas. Fellas, y'all out there too. Let me know what y'all think. Be blessed.